What's up, Geeks? Minibots here for the channel Saigon Geeks. So today I want to introduce a new series about what kind of hobbies you can have in Ho Chi Minh City. So you live in Saigon and you have too much time to kill. Maybe you got tired of drinking beer every weekend. Maybe you're not into sports. Video games don't do it for you anymore. The traffic and the scorching sun got you avoiding going outside. Well, you're lucky because 2020 is a great year to start a hobby in Ho Chi Minh City. In this video series, I'll introduce you to a few hobbies that you can pick up in this rapidly growing city and my personal thoughts on each activity. We are going to start the series with my personal favorite, Gunpla. Gunpla is short for Gundam Plastic Models. You can check out some of my earliest videos about here or here, I'm not sure where. Some of my earliest videos on this channel, which were when I got started in Gunpla, possibly January 2018, I don't really remember. I remember my wife got me a kit for Christmas and that's how I got started. Gundam is an awesome Japanese anime series originally about pilots who fight using giant mechs in space. It's awesome. It personally took me a while to get into the anime, but since they have many series with different feels, I just had to find the right series for me. If you end up picking up the hobby, the series are super fun and a great way to help you decide which model you want to build next, as there are literally hundreds of different kits that you can choose from. My personal favorite series is Gundam Origins, if you want to start there. Other fan favorites are Gundam Unicorn, which is the series that showcases the first kit that I got, and Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is part of a different universe altogether. Finally, at the moment, Bandai is producing Gundam Build Divers, which is sort of a giant advertisement for the hobby. But personally, I think it's neat because the kits and the models that they show in these, that they showcase in these episodes and that then you can buy are adding a lot of diversity in the style of kits that you can buy, and also a little bit of goofiness, which is always good. Now that this is out of the way, let me give you a bit of advice on how to start. First of all, yeah, it can be intimidating to start a new hobby, especially model building, but I find that the experience is incredibly rewarding, and actually the models are not that hard to build. The kits are a little bit like building Lego. You follow instructions and you put the pieces together, only you're building awesome Japanese mech suits, space robots. You don't need glue, a common misconception. Secondly, you can watch YouTubers to get a feel of the hobby first. The YouTuber that I enjoy watching since the beginning is Zaku Aurelius. I think he's American and lives currently in Japan and is an absolute nut of the hobby. He has a lot of different kind of videos about tips on how to build and how to paint and how to modify your kits. And also he will review every month and every year every kit that is coming out or has come out. So if he'll sometime tell you which kits were easy, which kits were disappointing. So it's a great way to help you choose which kit you wanna start. There are different difficulty levels available to you, which is showcased on the packaging. First is HG, which stands for high grade, and in my personal opinion, I think this is where you should start. The models in this line can be very cheap. I mean, they have kits ranging from 200,000 Vietnam Dong to 1 or 2 million Vietnam Dong. And we're pretty lucky to be near Japan because those costs go up dramatically if you are buying these models in the US and Canada. And it's also their easiest difficulty. Next one is MG, which stands for Master Grade. These are bigger models and you have less choice of selection, but I think the kits have more detail than HG, and the difficulty levels tend to be about the same, but the price is higher also. If you're looking to have something to make a splash on your bookcase or shelf, MG is the way to go as the models are bigger. Sometimes you could build a few HG kits, and they also have them in MG. So you can then, after building the cheap one, if you know you like it, buy the MG, rebuild it, boom, and have it on your showcase, just looking cool and badass. Third is RG, a real grade. These are the most difficult models to build out of these 3 difficulties. They have a ton of details, but that means also a ton of tiny pieces and decals, so I definitely don't recommend starting with this at all. However, down the line, Trine 1 is definitely a really cool experience. It's amazing how much actual engineering goes into these things. Like when you bend the leg or the arms after you've built it, you can see all the joints moving. It's really cool. And the RG kits make you build the skeleton before the armor and the pieces, so you get to see all the insides. It's really neat. Another level you can try is P Bandai. These models are a bit harder to find, and the boxes look different to showcase them. They are produced in limited runs, and I think not just any seller can buy them, so they're a bit harder to find. They're much pricier and often just a reimagining of a classic model. So I'm not sure if they're all bigger, but the one I got is the same size as an MG. I got that P Bandai simply because I'm a collector at heart and I like the model featured. But to be honest, I would avoid those for a while anyways if you get in the hobby, simply because you can get the same building experience for much cheaper, so you can go further with your money. And we're not done yet. This hobby is super deep, and even just scratching the surface is satisfying. Next kind of kit you can buy is PG, which stands for Perfect Grade. I haven't tried these models as they are pretty big, much bigger than the MG, and very pricey and very rare, but that's definitely something I'd like to try in the future if I ever, for some reason, have a couple of $100s to throw at Bandai. Sixth and final model is SD, which stands for Super Deformed. Think chibi models. I'm personally not a fan of this line, but I did build one just to try it out. You could start with this model if you wanna try it, but I feel like the fun's over really quickly, and you barely get to try the actual building, and there's not any moving limbs or engineering. So if you try that first, I think you'll get the wrong idea of the hobby. Some people like to pimp them up just as a challenge, and it could be a good way and a cheap alternative to learn to practice your panel lining and top coating if that's techniques that you want to add to your kit. Whew, okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's look at where you can buy the stuff in Ho Chi Minh City. If you are a hikikomori or just driving around, well, good news for you. There's tons of sellers on Shopee. Just go ahead and search for Gundam and look at all the kits. Search through all the kits, compare the prices. What I like to do is add the kits that I like to my cart. I had like 100 kits at one point that I wanted. And then I just wait for special deals, the deal of the month, and then that's when I order them. If you prefer to do your shopping in person and want to help the hobby grow physically in Saigon, there are now in 2020 2 stores in Ho Chi Minh City. Yesterday I went out and checked them out for you. The first one that I stopped at is Titan X shop. It's pretty easy of access out in District 6. It's clean and brand new, and they have a good selection of models and a great showcase of their builds, the kits that they built, the workers and the owner. So if you're looking for inspiration on a kit to buy, it's really nice to look at what they've done. They're absolute nuts. I didn't film the inside of the store as the clerks were standing about here the whole time, which I find very annoying. And this is something that happens a lot in Vietnam, unfortunately. But I think they were just trying to be friendly and helpful with me, so there's no hard feelings there. They did say, however, that they are the only store like this in Ho Chi Minh City which carries Gunpla models. which I didn't appreciate. So strike one for Titan X, because that's a huge lie. There's another store not 500 meters away from Titan X, which is called PEF Saigon Modeler. Sometimes they have another name like PF Hobby, Ho Chi Minh City, something like that. Something neat about PEF is that the store was even blessed with the visit of Katsumi Kawaguchi. Sorry if I messed this up. A legend of the hobby, a master modeler, an actual executive of the Bandai Corporation. Kind of like went to visit their store as a surprise. So I guess it's kind of a Gunpla god blessing of the store, which is really cool. Both stores sell other types of products like Star Wars models, also made by Bandai. I'm looking for a Stormtrooper at the moment. They have Dragon Ball collectibles, Kamen Rider toys, Transformers. They had modeling tools, and PEF in the near future will also carry Citadel paints if you're into building Warhammer, which is another hobby I'll cover later in this series. Okay, it's actually big. Hello.
What's your name?
Oh, Antenna Etienne. Etienne. Yeah, canton lagi.
My name is Rao.
Rao? Rao? Okay, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Cool, I don't know which color is that. The black one? Ah, alright, thank you. At the moment of filming this, both stores are low on stock due to importation constraints installed by the Vietnamese government because of the coronavirus outbreak. I guess some of the stuff has to go through China or Hong Kong. But if you want to support the stores, I think now is the best time to go and buy something from them. We are now at the last part of this video, finally, right? The pros and cons. So let me cover the pros first. The good stuff about this hobby, this can probably be the cheapest hobby in the series of hobby introductions, this series that I'm starting right now. So if money is an issue, but you still are bored out of your mind, this is the hobby that I would suggest for you. You don't need to go all out to have fun or be satisfied with the panel lining and all that stuff. You can simply pick up the cheapest kit, build it in an evening, or maybe if you're like me, just do 1 or 2 hour sessions and spread them out over a week or two. And you'll be happy and you'll have a cool robot that looks good on your shelf. You could also go all out and explore all the techniques to make your model as cool as they can be. You could even build dioramas and landscapes for them down the line, complete with LED lights. It's up to you how far you want to take this hobby, which is kind of neat. Another pro is that you don't need a friend to build these things. This is a loner activity, so you don't need to wait until schedules finally match to get started, like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, for example. If you're an introvert, this is also a good hobby to have. I personally like to put a chill playlist or a podcast on in the background as I'm building and just get lost in the process for an hour or two. You can also enjoy the hobby abroad. I like to try and find little hobby stores in every country that I visit. Japan was an absolute blast to visit. As well as Hong Kong, which is where I bought my P-Bandai. Well, that's it for this video, you geeks. I hope you did enjoy it and that it was very helpful. If you have any questions or remarks, put them up in comments below. I'll be sure to read and answer them if I have an answer. If you want to keep up with the series of these hobbies, I will try to put one monthly. You can subscribe to the channel to get the news when the new video is out. If you think I did a good job with this video or satisfactory, go ahead and give me a like to let me know I'm on the right track. These are hugely motivating. One last thing. My toy giveaways are not working. No one's interested in them. And I have these awesome Funko Pops just lying around that I'm trying to give away. So no more random draws. And we're almost at 100 subscribers, guys. Thank you very much for your support. We are now March, so that means there's another giveaway happening. So the first person who comments that they want the Funko Pop, I will send it to you. I'll get it to you if you live in Vietnam. If you already have one of those Funko Pops, you can win another one. So go ahead and comment if you want them all, okay? So thank you very much for watching, guys. This was a fun video to make, and appreciate you. See ya.